Hello everybody and welcome back to DTDcember, a series in which I'll be counting down my top 12 GTA villains of all time. If you want more info on this whole thing, feel free to check out my first video in this series where I explain the rules of my list. Or if you haven't seen my previous DTDcember videos and want to avoid spoilers, check out this playlist to watch every prior entry up to this point. Today, I'll be talking about my number 3 entry into this list, Steve Haines from Grand Theft Auto 5. Haines first becomes known a while after the Evangelico jewel store heist near the start of the game when the FIB agent pieces together the connections between Michael Townley and Michael Santa. When he realizes what opportunity he has on his hands, he puts Michael to work by forcing him and our other protagonists to do his dirty work in order to benefit the FIB and hinder the IAA. In our first encounter with the man, we can immediately get this douchebag jock vibe off of him as he tries to laugh off Michael's sarcastic insults. But once he has enough, the mask slips off and we see him use his power to take control of the situation. Per Haynes' orders, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor are forced to capture a suspected terrorist from the IAA so that the FIB can interrogate him and take credit for preventing a terrorist attack. After this, we're occasionally contacted by Haines to complete near Herculean tasks with minimal resources, and our protagonists are forced to do his bidding because of the dirt he has on them. It doesn't matter if they're broke and in exile, or living well in the Vinewood Hills. If Haines needs something done, our protagonists will do it for him, because if they don't, then they'll be locked away for life for their crimes. He also seems to be unwilling to compromise in most cases, as he shows how little care he has for Michael's personal life when our protagonist finally has an opportunity to make his return to Los Santos, and Haines forces him to join the crew in Blaine County to raid Humane Labs anyway. At the same time, however, when he forgets to tell our protagonist that they need a large crew for said raid, he shows little reluctance in getting his own hands dirty by joining us out in the field. So as much of an asshole as he's proven to be so far in the story, it's hard to have zero respect for him after this. Of course though, because he's been so heavily involved in government corruption in order to achieve his goals against the IAA, it all starts to catch up with him as an investigation into him begins to be conducted, meaning he needs us to raid the FIB and delete the evidence they have against him. Michael agrees to do this under the conditions that his own files are deleted as well, and that Haines considers them square if we do this for him, after which we do the job. But he wouldn't be a villain if he lived up to his word, now would he? Sure enough, Haines tries to arrest Michael, but in the middle of our showdown, the IAA, Noose, and Merryweather all show up and interrupt the proceedings, leading to an all-out war between each faction while Haines makes his escape. Now that he's been made an enemy, Haines cuts ties with our protagonists, or at least he does for the most part. While this is the last time he sees Michael or Trevor, Haines eventually meets up with Franklin to coerce him into killing Trevor, which leads into the choice we have to make at the end of the game. Now just like I did when I talked about Devin Weston, I'm mostly going to ignore ending A and primarily talk about the canon ending C, where Haines meets his end. After the shootout against Noose and Merryweather, our protagonists create their list of targets to eliminate, and as they know how dangerous it would be to leave Haines alive, they have Lester track him down and Trevor kills him. When I think of villains in Grand Theft Auto, it's hard for me to not think of Steve Haines for a variety of reasons. Unlike many of the characters I've already talked about on this list, Haines is an antagonist who doesn't suffer from a lack of screen time because he's pretty much present throughout the majority of the story, and he's shown throughout the story that no matter where our protagonists go, they're not safe from his reach. Additionally, unlike most of the other villains who have to keep their distance from our protagonist, since that distance is the only thing stopping us from killing him, Haines isn't afraid to get up close and personal with Michael, Trevor, or Franklin, because the files he has on them gives him immunity from their wrath. That is until those files are deleted during the FIB raid. Lastly, while he may not have been as threatening to one individual character like Devin Weston was to Michael, Haynes' government position gives him a fearful amount of leverage over all three of our protagonists, as he could easily have any of them put away the second they outlive their usefulness to him, as is exhibited in the wrap-up, which I personally believe makes him more threatening overall than the other main antagonists of this game. Because of those reasons, Steve Haines is going to earn the number 3 spot on this list of the greatest GTA villains of all time. What do you guys think though? Do you think Haines should have a higher or lower spot on this list, or do you agree with his placement? And how are you liking DTDcember so far? Be sure to tell me in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed the series so far, feel free to leave a like on this video, and subscribe if you haven't done so already so that you'll be notified this Monday when I return with the number 2 entry for this list. Have a blessed couple of days until then, and I'll see you all very soon. This is your boy Dog6, and I'm signing off.
The Christmas trees